You know, I use the wrong knives all the time that I didn't catch or pick up on those things. That like I would understand why it would be comical to you because you actually are in the kitchen often. You're barefoot and pregnant all the time.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a fantastic another day of Don't Let It Stu. I'm here with my favorite, Zack Peter. You can find him on Instagram, TikTok, No Filter with Zack. He's killing it on there and on YouTube 5 days a week at Just Plain Zack. Hi, Zack. You know there's a reason why I wanted you on today.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How was your weekend? You're on your coffee.
Good. Relaxing, but good.
Yeah, I'm relaxing.
Busy. It's been busy, so it's nice to have like a good chill weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were popping them out all weekend. I was in Palm Springs. I was watching your updates. I had a good weekend. I went to see the tennis. I went to see the final in Palm Springs in Indian Wells. I got a ticket for the final for like $600. I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. You get a women's final, a men's final. It's great. But then I had to get home afterwards because I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do KTLA the next day, and I had to prep food and all that kind of stuff. So it was a whole day ahead of me after that tennis. So I felt like Draper was going to win it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave now. Beat the traffic, beat the people, like whatever. There was probably like 3 or 4 games left. So I get up, I leave, I go to my car. It's like a 20-minute walk to your car. Fucking wallet's not with me. I'm just like, I said, you cannot. And I said, in a stadium of probably like 12,000 people, I just was like, oh my God, it's gone. I just was like, should I just leave it and just go because it's going to be gone? And I'm like, no, you got to go back. You just have to go back. Yeah. So I'm running back. I get through the people. I'm like, look, I'm in. I said, my wallet. They're like, go. I go. Draper is literally hitting the match point as I get into the stadium, because when the match is over, everyone's up, everyone's leave, like a shuffle buffle, like someone could grab the wallet, they'd leave.
Yeah.
Literally 10 seconds. If I was later 10 seconds, he hit the match point as I'm going down the row and I'm like, my wallet, did you see my wallet? And she's like, oh my God, it's right there. Grabbed it, legged it out of there, 2.5 hours home. It was great. But my God, this is just a story of my life with my wallet. It's just, I lose it all the fucking time.
Your wallet? Why do you have a wallet? Everybody pays for everything on Apple Pay now.
I know.
What loser still has a wallet?
I need to bring it's like a nice wallet, and I got it as a gift from my boss, and it's like, you know, it's a Goyard, and I love it. But you're right. Like, I shouldn't just bring it everywhere, like to events and stuff. Like, I need to get one of those cases that it just snaps on the back of your phone, you know, with like 2 cards in it. Like, that's all I need.
And just for your ID, all your money you keep on your phone, Apple Pay.
I know. And even actually,
and maybe one emergency card in case somebody doesn't take Apple Pay, but like,
yeah. And even on Apple now, you can actually scan your driver's license on your phone now. There's a new thing on it. If you go check it, you can actually do that. Yeah. I also went, just to get off a little riff here, I went to get my nails done in Palm Springs with my 2 girlfriends. And it was nice. They were going. I was like, you know what? I'll get a mani-pedi. It'll be lovely, you know? I swear to God, like I went in there and they saw a guy, you know, at the door with his 2 ladies. Obviously, they're getting gels. They're getting like lovely stuff done. I'm just there to get the basic. I'm like, just take the crust off my heel. That's all I need, you know? And so, sorry. I walk in my bare feet a lot. It's just, they get crusty. That's disgusting. But so I go in. There's a guy, they're like, I sit down. The guy runs the water, whatever. He comes over. I'm like, oh, hi. I'm like, I'm not sure about this. So he starts working on my feet and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'll do like, they hand you the menu to do it, the whole thing. And I'm like, okay. So he was done. I was like, okay. He's like, your nails next. I said, yeah. And I said, push really hard on the cuticles. Like push them down because I want to make my nails look bigger because I bite my nails sometimes. And so he doesn't do that. And it's just very like, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then I say, can you just put the clear varnish on my nails? He's missing some of it. I'm like, oh, you missed a bit there. You missed a bit here. So I get up. It's fine. I'm like, I'm not going to complain. It's okay. I go over to the desk to pay. And then I kind of lift up my heel. I'm like, wait, did he even fucking do anything? Like, I needed the cheese grater on my heel. Do you know, the full on like Parmesan cheese grater? That's what I needed. Yeah. And I said to the lady, I said, look, I said, I'm not, you know, this is like $80 or whatever. I said,
Yeah.
do they look done to you? I said, like, and I said it in a really nice way. I was like, and she's like, oh God, no. She's like, he should have used the thing, but sometimes they don't use it because it hurts people. But I'm like, but he didn't even ask me. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh God, go sit down, whatever. So he did it. I feel like I got the fucking receptionist. That's what I feel. I feel like he didn't know
Did
what
he
was.
redo it or somebody new came and did it?
No, he came down and he used the
Oh,
the
you made him
microplane.
redo it. Wow.
Yeah,
No,
he used the
hated you.
microplane that you use to shred Parmesan cheese with on your pasta. So it was
Dude,
lovely.
we need to not let it get this bad. Like, there's no reason for that.
No, it's not. And spring, summer is coming up now. You know, it can smell the
Like,
midnight
this is why
jasmine
you're
outside.
single. Nobody wants to be in bed next to some guy and then they have like sandpaper just like scraping them in bed.
I know. I'm the worst. And it's like, you know what the running joke with me all my life has been, like with all my friends and stuff, like especially going out like in the summertime with the gays and you wear flip-flops and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I got my feet on the weekend. And Jason's like, really, did you? 'Cause it doesn't fucking look like it. No, it's the worst. I have the worst feet. I hate it. They can never look pretty. It's just the worst. Whatever. Speaking of pasta and no other recipe on a show, With Love, Meghan, episode 7.
Yay.
You stopped watching it, didn't you?
I couldn't keep watching. I was like, my brain cells are literally dying. Her Instagram stories were enough. And I sent you, did you catch what I sent you in the Instagram stories?
I actually went to her Instagram. I didn't follow her because she probably would block me if I did actually go to follow her. But yes, she was making the St. Patrick's Day pancakes and like some kind of milkshake or chocolate milk or green milk or whatever it was. So
No, but did you catch why people were upset about it? Or what they
No.
caught about it?
No,
So
what-
it's St. Patrick's Day. She's
Correct.
making green waffles with her kids, right?
correct.
And so if you actually pay attention to her stories, you see her pour the waffle in the waffle maker.
Correct.
And she's making it and you see her do all the things. And
I
then
saw that,
you
yes.
click to the next story and then you see the kids and they decorated their waffles. And you're like, oh, how cute. What a wholesome, sweet moment. But then if you pay attention to the waffle maker that she pours the batter into is one of those big waffles with the 4 pieces cut in the middle. But then
Correct.
if you see the ones that the kids have, they don't have the 4 cut in the middle. It's a completely different waffle.
Oh.
So
I
it
didn't
was
notice
clearly
that.
not shot on the same day. It's not this organic St. Patrick's Day morning. We're making waffles. Like they're 2 completely different waffles from 2 completely different days. Like
That
it's,
is
and
well
then the
spotted.
story right after that is another like cute little shot of the waffle, and the waffle's cut up into 4s because it
It's
has
a beautiful photograph. Yeah.
yes. So
Oh,
it was, I mean,
well
and it's like,
spotted.
but this is why people find her so insufferable, is because she took what should have just been a nice wholesome moment of making waffles with my kids on St. Patrick's Day morning and turned it into like this curated production that it didn't need to be, that clearly this was not shot on the same day. And it's like, how are you going to use this wholesome moment with your kids as like this opportunity to like develop content out of it?
I know. She's trying to really be this, to be this like person now that just cooks every day now. And she has to kind of do that because of this show, you know? So I spoke to my brother yesterday and I was like, oh, did you watch that Meghan thing? He's like, I had to turn that fucking thing off after 8 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, I've never seen such a fucking narcissist in my life. We're literally she's just showing off and she's just so self-absorbed. He's like, I just cannot. I'm like, really? Like, he was so strong about it. And like, he's straight and like has married with a kid. And I'm just like, really? We're even watching it in the first place? I said, you have to keep watching it because it's just so comical and it gets like really good. Like, just for the laughter, you have to watch it.
But I think it's comical to you because you're a chef. Like, I would have
Yeah.
never caught the thing with the knife where you're like, she's literally cutting with the little knife. And I do that all the time, but I'm not a
Yeah.
chef. You know, I use the wrong knives all the time, that I didn't catch or pick up on those things. That like, I would understand why it would be comical to you because you actually are in the kitchen often. You're barefoot and pregnant all the time.
Yes, exactly. So I was watching it with my friend Susan, and Susan is a producer. She's done a lot of shows. She did a show with Food Network with me years and years ago. I'm still friends with her. And we sat down and we watched it. And I really wanted to watch it with her and see what she thought and stuff. And like the first thing that came out of her mouth, she had this girl, Vicky, over that has the Tatcha brand, the skincare. That's the episode. She comes over, whatever.
Yeah.
And Megan's talking to her and Susan's like, what the fuck is going on here? She doesn't even fucking know who this chick is. I was like,
Does she know who any of them are?
I
Like
don't
her best
know.
friend Daniel of 15 years in episode 1. She has no clue who any of these people are.
No, it is. It's just so funny. And like, it really like, and I was asking Susan, I was like, what is it that bothers me about it? Like, what is it that just I can't get behind it? Because everybody thinks I hate her, and I'm like, I don't. I just hate the way the show is shot. I hate things about the show. I hate whatever. And she's like, and we got it. Like, I finally fucking got it. And it's like, it's not a cooking show. It's just a TV commercial to show off herself. And the reason why we're not feeling her or we're not believing anything that she says out of her mouth is because she's not fucking looking at us. She's not looking down the lens of the camera and being like, hey, this is what I do at home. This is how I make this. This is a cool tip. Blah, 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 blah. She's talking to the fucking crew.
Yeah.
She's having a conversation with the crew and we're flies on the wall, kind of like trying to listen in, like, and it's kind of like we're like a second gesture. Does that make sense? So when you watch
that does make sense.
It does. So it doesn't, you don't feel warm. You don't feel like you're getting to know her. And if you notice, like, especially in like the second last episode, like she fucks up a few times. She does things, whatever. And she looks in fear at the crew. And then she looks up as in like, oh my God, is that okay? Like, is that, and like the editing shows that, like we all fuck up in cooking shows. I've fucked up in tons of cooking shows. They edit it out, or else like you'll keep chopping, and I'm like, hey guys, will I keep going, or do you want me to stop and sit down and reshoot? And they're like, just keep going. We'll edit around it. I'm like, okay, great. So you just keep going. But she has this like fear in her eyes. Like that she's just not confident in what she's doing. And maybe that's the reason she can't look down the lens and teach us what she's doing and show us what she's doing, because she's not confident enough to do that down the lens and share it with us.
And I think what misses the mark about it too is it's marketed as this like at home with Meghan. And it's like, but it's not at home with Meghan because we know this isn't her real home. And then the people that she has on, it's very obvious that she's not very close to these people, where it's like, if she really wanted to do an at home with Meghan, I think it should have been in their house. I don't see why there was an issue with having to shoot in her own personal kitchen. And it should have been like an episode with Harry, an episode with her mom, an episode with some of her girlfriends from back in the day when she was in college or something like that, so that there's really like this homely feel, and that there were people that actually know her, that like, it's just it is so overthought. And so, like, even when she walks into the kitchen with the Mindy Kaling episode and she's just like, oh, Mindy Kaling's coming over, I should probably cook her a frittata. Do I have eggs to cook her a frittata? And then she looks in the fridge and she's like, oh, we have eggs. I'm going to whip her up a quick frittata. It's like, no, you'd already discussed with the producers that you were going to make her a frittata. They had stocked the fridge with all of the eggs so that you could make her this frittata. And then, like, this was all pre-planned. Like, it wasn't a last minute, let me make Mindy Kaling a frittata, and that's the illusion that you want to, and that's the illusion you want to create in these cooking shows. You want to feel like, wow, I'm on the day of, like, she has these people coming over. Oh, that's so cool. And that's like what you want to like show off. Like in that episode I just watched like last night or at the weekend with this girl, Vicky, the CEO of Tatcha. Like she's there and she's kind of getting ready in the morning. She's going like, and she turns to the crew and she's like, okay, let's make a show. She literally says that to them. I'm like, okay, so none of it's fucking real. Like, you've just given away, like, you know what I mean? You've just burst the bubble already, like, of the illusion that we're in. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And then, like, she says, like, Vicky, she always throws digs at her friends for some reason. She's like, yeah, I go over to Vicky's house and she makes me coffee, but I kind of avoid it because it's like, damn, that's sweet. So sweet what she puts in. And then the other friend, Delphina, when she comes over, she's like, yeah, she's more prettier on the inside than more prettier on the outside than the inside. It's like, wait, does that mean she's a bitch? Like what? It's just like these like subtle takes. Like great friends. She tells us, she goes out to the house to create a harvest basket again with her fruits and vegetables for Vicky. Lovely. And she talks about lavender. She's like, yeah, I'm going to label it lavender because you don't want to be throwing lavender into your pasta. Who the fuck is throwing lavender into their pasta?
Who's
How
going to make that
often
mistake?
is somebody Yeah. How often is somebody accidentally throwing lavender? Well, let's be honest. Most people, average Joe, is not even making their own pasta sauce. They're buying it in a jar.
Yeah.
And sometimes if they don't want to do the ragu, they'll go for a fancier jar. But for the most part, they're getting the pasta, they're boiling it, and they're making a pre-made sauce on top of that. Maybe they're mixing
Yeah.
in a little sausage or some ground beef or something,
Yes.
to like beef it up. But like nobody is accidentally putting
Nobody's
lavender in their pasta.
together. No, it's just, I was like, why did she say that? This is so weird. She makes the basket. She comes in. All it looks like it was bought at Whole Foods, to be honest. But and then she comes in. She's like, okay, we have store bought croissants. It's in a basket. Now we're going to elevate it. If I hear the word elevate on this fucking show one more time, she needs to find a new word. First of all, I can't wait for season
She doesn't really
2.
elevate anything though.
No,
Like it's
she
not
adds
really. I
strawberry.
mean, aside from her stupid lavender flower sprinkles that she throws on everything,
Yeah.
the little petal sprinkles, I can't. No, there's nothing that's out. And it doesn't even look nice. It looks fucking ugly. Like nobody wants dead flowers on any of their food. Like maybe it looks cute on Pinterest, but who's like, yeah, let me make myself some scrambled eggs with some dried flower petals on that. Nobody wants that.
You better not mix up that lavender. So she buys croissants. The croissants look beautiful from the bakery, and she elevates it by just adding some sprigs of mint and some strawberries spread around it. Now, here's what I would have done with that. I would have been like, yes, buy the croissants because you're not going to start laminating pastry and like all that kind of shit, right? But what you could do is, even I've done this on my Instagram. You cut it in half, you make like an almond paste, and you brush it in this middle of it, and then you put some on top with sprinkled almonds, and then you bake it for like 10 minutes. And you've really elevated something store-bought, and it looks like it's like this beautiful like French pastry, powdered sugar on top. That's what I would have done. And that's so easy to do, right? This was what drove me crazy. And this is where I feel like they couldn't think of anything else for her to make. So she's like, oh, Vicky's coming over, so she's going to want coffee because she likes coffee. So I thought, why don't I make her the creamer? So she's making coffee creamer.
What is she milking the cows?
No, she's like, so, and she has this
She doesn't have cows in the backyard like her bee farm that she never goes to.
It's like, so she makes the creamer with condensed milk out of a can that is transferred from a can into a mason jar to make it look lovely. So I want to see her opening the can of condensed milk, putting it in there with a bit of half and half and some vanilla bean, and there's your creamer. And it's like, but it's a 3-ingredient thing. Like, come on. Like, she could have done something else.
Who's making their own creamer? Let's be honest. Nobody's making their own creamer.
Everyone's buying coffee.
Nobody's making creamer. Or if you're not buying coffee mate, then you're doing like heavy whipping cream. Like nobody is taking these extra steps to make their own creamer at home. Like anybody that wants flavored creamer, like you said, is going to buy a coffee mate, or they'll buy the vegan version of whatever from Erewhon, or they're just going to have what is it? The keto one, the whipping cream that everybody puts in, the heavy cream, heavy cream.
Yeah. So it continues on. They start making dumplings. The dumplings are done. They look beautiful. It's like a gyoza with like the kind of pancake underneath the dumplings, and they go to flip it out of the pan, and the thing falls on the counter. Like they fuck it up. It was the most realest part of the whole show. I loved every bit of it. She fucked up a bit. It was cute. It was a nice moment. Vicky ran and got a spatula. They put it on the plate. It was all great. But there is one part where I really noticed. So you know how perfect she is, and she's just like, everything has to be like curated, perfect. So Vicky's like, they're doing something, and she's like, you know what, Meghan? Perfect isn't beautiful. And you see Meghan's face, and she turns to her, and she's like, yeah,
like not the premise of the show.
Couldn't. She was like, what? What do you mean it's not perfect? Like, what do you mean like perfect isn't beautiful? You know. I also saw, just to wrap it up, because everybody's like, I'm a hater right now. I find it, and if you watch this episode, because I'm always like looking into deeper into it. When someone's talking to her, to me, she just looks completely disinterested. Like she's like, hurry up. Yeah. Like I wanted to start talking about me. I want to bring it back to me. And that's what I think. I know, watch episode 6. Episode 7, I'm going to recap next week, and I have a special guest on. She's kind of going viral on TikTok. She's really fucking funny. And I've sent you some of her stuff. She's really good. So we're going to recap episode 7 next week. And that's it. And that's my Meghan bitching for today. I can't wait for season 2.
You're not going to do episode 8? You
Oh,
might
we're
as well
gonna do.
just see it through.
No, I'm gonna do it. Oh no, it's at 7 I did today, so 8 next week. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Next week
Yeah,
is 8. And then are you going to do season 2?
absolutely. Of course I am. Oh, and by the
Are
way,
you
if everybody thinks I'm just on a Meghan like hate bandwagon, which I'm not, I'm talking about the show. I'm going to start watching Pamela Anderson's show as well, and we're going to see that as well. I want to have a look at that and see the difference.
I
Yeah.
heard that one performed better, but it's also
Yeah.
you can't really compare them because that was like a UK or not a UK, that was a Canada show, and Meghan Markle's was on Netflix, which has like a more global audience, so it's hard to compare those ratings.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I mean,
nobody
I just want
really,
to see it and just go through it. Yeah.
her show kind of flopped. Like it didn't really
Did
perform
it?
very. It
Pamela
didn't
Anderson one?
even last in the top 10 for like more than 2 days.
Oh. Pamela's or Megan's?
Meghan's.
Megan's. Oh, it really is out of it already. Do you want to give us a little update? I want to talk about Fyre Fest too, but I want to get into. Do you have any updates on Blake and Justin? I know you've kind of been doing a few reels about it. Is there anything new?
I mean, the New York Times is trying to get dismissed, and her publicist is trying to get dismissed. And I guess the exciting part is we now get to move into discovery. So we have until, or both legal teams have until August 14th in order to depose all of the parties. So we have between now and August 14th where we're probably going to see Taylor Swift get pulled in and deposed. Blake's going to have to sit down and be deposed. What?
Do you think Taylor will be called in?
1,000%. Unless the
No.
only way we don't get a deposition from Taylor Swift is if Blake Lively settles before then. But you better believe Brian Friedman is going to depose. He's already said he's going to depose Taylor Swift. He's going to try to get the text messages. He's going to do everything he can to see how much involvement Taylor Swift. Because remember, Blake referred to her as one of the dragons. So we want to know how much fire was this dragon breathing behind the scenes. So.
Yeah.
We already have the actress who played young Lily, Isabella Ferrer, who said that Taylor Swift is the one that cast her in the movie. So, there are rumors that Taylor Swift got one of the composers fired. So we're definitely going to get a Taylor Swift deposition. Hugh Jackman, likely to be deposed. Bradley Cooper, likely to be deposed. So it's going to, I mean, unless she really tries to protect these people and prevent them from getting deposed, I think if anything, this is going to be the strong arm that's going to get her to settle because she was fighting for what's called an attorney's eyes only protective order, which basically means that whatever gets pulled up in discovery, it's for attorney's eyes only. It cannot be shared with any of the clients. Even if Brian Friedman gains access to, some sort of crucial piece of information, if it's all blocked under attorney's eyes only, he can't discuss that with his clients. So he can't be like, hey, Justin, she has this. Like, what is the context behind this? Like, he can't disclose any of that. So it was a big blanket protection that she was hoping to get. And it's very rare that you get an attorney's eyes only protection. The only time that it really is granted is if the allegations, if it's like SA or SH and the allegations are so, sensitive that you want to make sure it's treated very, very delicately, or in a case of like, let's say Microsoft versus Apple, where they're two really big companies and there's likely to be pieces of, IP or trade secrets that get dug up in discovery that you obviously don't want getting to the other party. It's the only time that you really ever see attorney's eyes only. And so she was trying to argue. She was like, well, but I have medical records that should be disclosed. And Justin Baldoni seems like, we don't give a shit about her medical records. And she's like, well, what about my security measures? Like, I don't want my security measures getting leaked to the press. And they're like, we don't give a shit about your security measures. We only care about the evidence that's relevant to the film. Like, we don't care about those other things.
New York City. She walks on the street of New York City every day.
Yeah, she literally lives in New York City. Yeah. So, it's not that hard to find her security measures. But so the judge basically said, okay, fine, I'll give you attorney's eyes only for your security measures and for your, trade secrets that are not related to It Ends With Us and to your medical records. And so the judge kind of appeased her in that sense. But now we're moving forward with discovery. It's going to get really messy. They're going to start digging up text messages, emails. The depositions are going to begin. The summer is really going to get messy. But depositions are due August 14th. So between now and then, Depositions will be taken. It's presumed that these depositions will be video depositions. So I wouldn't
Oh
even be
God.
surprised if at some point we have the press, revealing clips of depositions before trial, if we even get to trial. But I don't know. We'll see if she really writes this through.
Question for you. If she went in and was like, I want to settle, I want to be done with all this, like, fuck this, like, whatever. What's the repercussions for her? She has to pay money?
Well, Baldoni's team has said that it's not just about the money, that it's about proving that he's innocent. So I would imagine they will settle with a large sum of money, but also with some sort of formal statement or apology, which is really funny. And the irony does not, go over my head, considering right before this whole lawsuit or legal saga began, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively drafted a statement that they wanted Justin Baldoni and Wayfair to release publicly, basically acknowledging that they had done stuff wrong on the set and that they were, in a sense, like kind of, owning up. And they were like, we're absolutely not publishing this statement. Like, you're crazy. We didn't do any of these things.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you want us to take accountability for something we absolutely did not do, which is ultimately what ended up spearheading or presumably spearheaded this entire legal saga. But so it's just rich that Blake and Ryan, it's been alleged that they wrote out this entire statement for them that we've now seen, and wanted Wayfair to issue this statement. And Baldoni said no. And now it looks like it's ultimately going to be the opposite. And the statement that's going to have to be issued is an apology by Blake and Ryan acknowledging the truth.
That's just not good. So
that's the only way I can see him settling at this point.
They're going to drag all these friends through the fucking mud to go through this.
Do you imagine how much?
I would hate her so much if to do that.
It's going to, think about it. Think if you're Taylor Swift and you have to come in and be deposed. I mean, they may do it via Zoom or whatever, because we saw that in the Depp v. Heard trial, that when there was testimony that came in, there were people that, did it virtually or whatever. So it's possible that Taylor Swift may do it virtually and she may not have to do it in person, but.
Could they ask her questions and she just fills out the answers and sends it in, this is what I know?
I don't think that that's likely to be. I think Brian Friedman, you want an in-person deposition. You want a video deposition, because then you're going to pick that apart and then you're going to use that to present at trial to show the jury, your side of the case. And the other thing is too, Blake Lively has been very inconsistent with a lot of her stories about what happened on set. And there's now a lot of objective evidence, a lot of footage that has come out that has contradicted some of her claims. So it's going to be interesting to see what she's going to say under oath now, considering her story has shifted and there is footage from the set, from paparazzi, that show, the opposite of what she's claimed, or at least show that she has double standards, because some of the behavior she's accusing Baldoni of, she's now been caught on camera doing herself.
Yeah, she's fucked either way.
It's going to be interesting.
She needs to just end it.
It's only, we're heading into the mud. It's about to get messy, and you're going to see mud flying everywhere unless somebody settles.
And will we start these little depositions? Will we start getting information kind of as the months go on, or do we have to wait till August 14th?
It depends. We'll have to see. It's possible that there could be. Well, actually, no. I don't think we'll get anything. Well, again, it depends on when the depositions are actually filed, because once they're filed, then there are ways the press or other people could obtain access to them. Obviously, there's this attorney's eyes only protection that, she does have some sort of flexibility with. She has there's one of the provisions of the attorney's eyes only protection allows for third party privacy. So the way I've explained it is yes, Taylor Swift's text messages could technically be deposed, but if there's something relevant to It Ends With Us, then that can be brought into discovery. Yeah. But if there's something if she's ooh, if she was texting Blake and she's Travis's D was so fired last night, oh my God, he hit it so good. That would not be admissible, and we would not be able to see that. That would be protected under the attorney's eyes only protection. And it's just irrelevant to the case. So we won't get anything super juicy about their friendship or whatever, or her relationship. Yeah. But it is likely that there could be some potential leaks that come over the summer.
Okay. Jeez, I can't wait. It's it's gonna be so good. Fyre Fest 2 updates. I've just been following this. Yeah. There's nothing new. It's fucking nothing's really happening. So, the Mexican island where Fyre Fest 2 is supposedly to take place, like Isla Mujeres, Murjes, I don't know how to pronounce it. We have no knowledge of this event, nor contact with any person or company about it. For us, this is an event that does not exist. The festival is not going to happen. There are red flags all over the place. These are all quotes from online. As of March 3rd, no one from the Fyre Festival has reached out to anyone in Mexico. Ja Rule was asked about the Fyre Festival on Good Morning New York and laughed and said he had nothing got to do with it. This shit ain't happening, and people are going to lose their money again. I can't believe this. I really can't believe this.
Do you really think this is going to be, I mean, I was going to say, do we really think it's going to be Fyre Fest 2.0? But I mean, it really is Fyre Fest 2.0. I mean, but you really think it's going to be another scam? Yeah.
It is. No, people don't change. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. For my weekly roast, people on TikToks, there's a new trend going. It's lovely. It's a nice trend. People are starting to eat packing peanuts, thinking they're real food. Packing peanuts aren't food, but people are eating them. And the bizarre trend worries experts. I don't fucking know. It's probably like the Tide Pods. Remember they started eating those things?
That was so stupid.
Did people die? Experts warn they dissolve in water, biodegradable packing. Just because they're biodegradable doesn't mean they're edible. Do not eat the packing peanuts.
Why are they eating the packing peanuts? What is the reason?
I think it's a trend. It's just like a trend.
I mean, people are so stupid.
I know. And I also, from this
weekend,
the
same people that believe Blake and support Meghan.
Yeah, people are fucking nuts. You see, exactly. The Meghan thing, like, people are watching a different show. Like, I swear, like, stop. I can't. Just to wrap it up, I really want to, I don't know if this is controversial or not, but it really set me and Susan off this weekend. So I went to Mr. Lyons in Palm Springs this weekend, a lovely restaurant in Palm Springs. Hadn't been there in years. The menu has changed. Really nice menu, nice food. Everything was great. We had prime rib, gorgeous. Totally recommending going there. Here's where it got a bit sticky. So it comes to dessert. And I'm like, Susan, do you want to share dessert? Anybody at the table? Do you want to share dessert? They're like, yeah. They're like, let's get the sundae. I said, what's good? He's like, the mint ice cream is amazing. It's like one of our best. I'm like, great. We'll have the mint ice cream sundae. What's a sundae to you? Like, if I said, Zach, let's get a sundae together, what would you expect on the sundae?
Ice cream, maybe a banana, some whipped cream, some nuts, maybe chocolate sauce.
Okay, great. So it comes out, first of all, it's in a fucking French onion soup bowl. And I'm like, this is weird. If you look up French onion soup, you'll see it. It's like, you know what they are. They're kind of like, they're rounded and whatever. There's 2 scoops in there. You have to look deep in to see the 2 scoops. There's no nuts. There's no whipped cream. There's no bananas. There's no cherries. None of that. There's a little small ramekin of chocolate sauce on the side. It's mint ice cream and it's chocolate sauce. And I said to the lady,
Sunday.
I said,
that's a Monday.
I said,
that's a Tuesday.
I was like, everything was beautiful. You're so great. But I said, this is not a Sunday. And I said, you guys are calling it a Sunday. And she's like, oh yeah. I said, what's a Sunday to you? She's like, there should be nuts on it. I said, do you have nuts back there? She's like, we don't have nuts back there. I said, I'm about to fucking lose my nut. I'm like, so, I mean, I think me and Susan talked about it for 2 days afterwards. Like, we were so upset. But it was wild.
Otherwise, it's just ice cream.
It's just ice cream. That drives me crazy. It's like you're charging $15 for like mint ice cream and chocolate sauce. That's fine. Just call it what it is. I was just expecting this beautiful sundae and like kind of like South Beverly Grill. If you've ever go to South Beverly Grill, they have the best sundae. It's so delicious. It's gorgeous. And honestly, I thought the mint ice cream kind of tasted like it was out of a plastic container. I'm just saying that. It did. It didn't seem like this homemade, like gorgeous, whatever. And that's how we wrap it up, everybody. Zach, thank you so much for coming on to Don't Let It Stu today. Anybody interested in spices, go to spicetribe.com. You can grab them all there. My lovely seasoning. And Zach, tell everybody where they can find you again.
No Filter with Zack Peter, all over your favorite podcast platforms, streams live Monday through Friday. And yeah, follow me, Zack Peter, all over the internet.
Thank you, everybody. Please leave a rating, a comment, a review, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you all back here next week. Bye.